and North Carolina, and so I know a little bit of the good work that Rotary helps support around the world. I've also had the occasion to go to 1 or 2 rib fests.
All right.
Yeah, can't complain about that. And my first visit to a Rotary Club was actually this year, so it was actually to Fred's club, and it happened just in February. So it's okay that you've never been here before. And I appreciate, and I mean, seeing Rotary in action, it is really clear that Rotary has an infrastructure for building relationships across a whole lot of different groups and communities, and has a heart for service and supporting that. And so I see it as a real partner in peace work. As Fred said, my name's Reina Neufeldt, and I'm the chair of the Peace and Conflict Studies program here. And we run for the University of Waterloo the academic program, and so that has the undergraduate program, the graduate program, and the certificate in conflict management, as you've already heard from Fred. The Masters of Peace and Conflict Studies program just celebrated its 10th anniversary. Yes, we're growing up a little bit. And we actually now have an alumni network of 147 graduates, which is great to see. And they're doing a host of inspiring work. And so I think we have even a video up now on our website from some of our alumni talking about that. They're leading not-for-profits, doing restorative justice work from the community to the national level. They work on refugee and immigrant settlement services, human resources, anti-racism, equity, diversity, and inclusion work. They're policy analysts, or they're doing peace building as part of development and humanitarian work. So our grads are doing inspiring work. And actually, we would not have established a record of being a successful program without some of this important support from Rotary. And so Fred's already spoken to the level of scholarships that Rotary helped support for a period of time, and that was really instrumental in getting some students here to the program who would have otherwise never been able to make it. And so thank you on their behalf, really, for helping do that. Tremendous benefactors, really, Rotary is filled with. In addition to what Fred has mentioned, the initiative that Ernie helped instigate some conversations that actually also led to a program change. So while Rotary wasn't going to establish a peace center in North America, that's all right. We did work on collaborating between different units within the university so that there's an opportunity if you're a health student or a development student to take a peace integration specialization, or if you're a peace and conflict studies student to take a peace integration specialization, which means you're integrating the lenses from the different fields into your work. So a peace lens into health work, a peace lens into development work, environment work. So it's a great legacy of that still exists. Most of our Peace and Conflict Studies program students at the master's level come from Ontario. And I think this is wonderful because actually it's helping to build up an infrastructure for pursuing and supporting peace locally. But significantly, particularly as in years 7, 8, and 9 of our last decade, we have seen an increasing number of students applying from international locations. People who want to come because of what the program offers in terms of connecting theory and research to practice and applied opportunities and excellence. And the University of Waterloo is known worldwide for excellence. And so we have students, and in fact you'll hear from one of our students who is here from Tanzania. We have students in the current cohort who are from Gambia, Pakistan. Others have come to us from Saudi Arabia, from Germany, United States, not so far, but still a border. And so we have a wide number, an impressive network of people who both apply and also come. And it's expensive. I'll just tell you that up front. Super expensive. Our classrooms then feature a fantastic mix of students. Right? Fatima is smiling because she knows, right? She knows. So in our classrooms, we have people who do come straight from an undergraduate program. So they're looking to develop their professional legs. They want to work in the peace field. They want to work either in mediation or bringing conflict resolution skills to other lines of work like human resources, like policing, like law. Or they're coming to us in a mid-career point. And we have quite a number of people who actually join. Maybe they're in the middle of a great psychiatry career, a legal career. Some people from the business community, people who are coming for the opportunity to step back from the rush of their everyday life and the work they do to make money in order to pursue a vocation and a calling that allows them to do work they find more meaningful. And so that's actually a real privilege also. And so having this blend of people in our classrooms is a terrific mix for us. What do we do in our program? Well, we equip people to understand the nested systems of conflict, violence, and oppression, and not just to understand the harms and the conflict, but also to envision and work towards transformed, healthy, and flourishing communities and systems. Okay, sounds great. How do we do this? How do we do it? Well, simply put, we work on the head, the heart, the hands, and the feet. At its most basic. Head, heart, hands, feet. First, let me talk about the head. And one of the fundamental things we work on is our lenses and the ability to see. MPACS provides its graduates with new lenses. Our alumni speak of the lenses they've gained that provide perspectives to enable them to see the big picture of conflicts. So as one of our recent graduates who works in workplace conflict assessments and mediation noted, she now adopts a lens of curiosity. And she tries to understand people's points of view and the larger systemic problems that they're speaking to when she listens. And so having lenses, and now I've come to the age where I have trifocals. What I've learned, the beauty of trifocals, is that it allows you to look at different distances and focus on different things at different times, while simultaneously not needing to change my glasses. And so something similar happens in our program. So we have lenses that help us look at the immediate presenting problem, right? The conflicts erupt, or people feel discriminated. It's about particular issues that happen in a given moment, and so some lenses help us look at that. Then we need some lenses that help us look at the medium term, at the middle distance, the relationships that happen, in which these conflicts or systems are nested, so the relationships. We also need part of our lens to allow us to look at the big picture, the broad horizon, and see the larger systems and structures in which conflicts and oppression are embedded. And so that's one of the big things we focus on in developing. And so we have to look at the systems that fuel injustice, the systems that fuel conflict, harms, and in addition to seeing the people who are harmed. So this is a critical foundation for change. The lenses then give our graduates the confidence to intervene and to make a change, to make a difference. And so one of our alumni, so I actually have pulled from some research that was done with our alumni for some of the things they say their degree has resulted in for them. And so one of our alumni spoke about the ways in which this particular person works with businesses on business workplace conflicts and equity, diversity, and inclusion issues. And so they speak of how impacts, and I'll quote here, gave me the voice and the ability to articulate injustice. It gave me the credibility to call people in conflict in and say where some of the changes need to be made. So the lenses are about understanding and then leading to action. Of course, also part of the head is the brain. And so critical thinking skills and analysis are an important part of graduate studies everywhere. And so we work on that. Our MPACS students who work in government offices, non-governmental organizations, businesses, they speak of the ways in which they are an asset to their organization because of the work they've done here, their ability to analyze problems, their ability to gather qualitative and quantitative information, to assess it, and to figure out what does it mean and how does it help us act. And so we work on that. We have class particularly on working with qualitative data. At conflicts, there's a lot of It's about what we say and how we act. So how do we understand the data we're getting from people's words? So we work with that, and this serves people very well, whether they're working on program monitoring and evaluation, or some of our grads decide they like study so much they're going to go do a PhD and contribute in that way. And so these same skills have set them up for success that way. Now the heart. The heart. And I think at one level the heart is about the passion for the work, a vocational calling. So that's one piece. But it's important to do this work with integrity and to not do harm, because it's actually quite easy to do harm, even when we're well-intentioned. And so one of the ways we work on the heart level is about reflexivity. So self-reflexivity, which means the ability to step back and take a look at oneself and think about how is the work I'm doing leading to change or not leading to change? And if it's not changing anything, why not? And what is my role in that? Sometimes we can notice we are part of a problem, and that's a critical insight. Sometimes it's not about us, but it's about what's going on in the community around us, and we have to look at that and think about how do we adjust, how do we adapt? Because one solution doesn't fit. It's not like conflict is going away. If you looked at the headlines today, it's clear we have a lot of work for peace together to continue to do, and it is difficult to change conflict systems. So tough. And so how do you adapt the ability to be reflexive and to reflect on your practice and to learn from failure is so critical in this line of work. And so, indeed, we embrace the idea that failure happens. Much as we might not like to talk about it, but it happens, and sometimes you want to fail quickly so that you learn and respond faster. I worked with some of our students with an organization called Mercy Corps in Haiti. We were supporting a local project on peace building with youth. And so one of the things that Mercy Corps observed about our students was their ability both to have emotional intelligence, but also to adapt and respond, and they called it adaptive management. I think these skills of reflection are actually part of much needed humility in action. Recognizing the conflicts we seek to change are tremendous. Okay, the hands. Hands are clearly about the work, right? We all use our hands, whether it's physical labor, typing, communications, talking. In our program, some of the skills students work on are active listening, negotiation, mediation, leading circle discussions, dialogue, creating space to listen to other people, being in conversation with people who are very different, right? And sometimes that's hard to listen to somebody who's saying something that's really quite opposite to your views. So these are really very applicable skills that you get that are important in any career and field. And our graduates talk about working, for example, in humanitarian work, and how the skills of being able to de-escalate a conflict and also build relationships with people was so critically important to their work with internally displaced people and communities in that work. So that's the hands. The feet. The feet are about movement and action and walking. And there's walking the talk, but I think it's important to talk about feet as moving things forward, and it is about leadership. So MPACS grads are leaders, but I also want to highlight critically that MPACS students and graduates are followers. And followership is not to be underestimated, right? So the people who are in the conflict are the ones who need to change. And if you are not that person who's immediately in the conflict, you have a role, you can help facilitate things, but it's about facilitation and helping other people lead. So MPACS students sometimes our graduates come in as outsiders, and they bring their capacity to listen to harm, to listen to experiences of conflict or violence, trauma, pain, to hear the vision also from these same people, their vision for a new future. And so one of the critical skills then is supporting those who have a vision for change. that springs from the community itself. So followership then is a way of addressing issues of power and thinking about power and who leads, who has voice, and what are the histories we are trying to work within as we think about enacting change. Followers that enable leaders to lead are not to be underestimated. So those are just some of the ways our Impacts program is equipping our graduates to work at building peace and transforming injustice. Before I turn the mic over to some students who are going to talk about their experiences in the program and what drew them to it, I want to say really a big thank you to Rotary for being important partners in this work. So thanks very much.